the bark in the wasteland. The wind was sharp and dry on the moon of Talrix IV, where war had burned the sky and poisoned the ground. Sergeant Cole Brenner, a human soldier with tired eyes and a scar across his left cheek, walked carefully through the dusty red wasteland. His helmet scanner beeped slowly, showing no life nearby. Beside him walked his only partner now, a military dog named Brutus, strong, loyal, and trained to detect threats faster than any machine. They were alone, separated from the rest of the unit after an ambush the day before. Cole wiped dust off his visor and spoke. "We need shelter before sunset, Brute. Radiation's rising." Brutus barked once, then sniffed the air and kept walking. As they moved across broken rocks and half-buried metal scraps, Brutus suddenly stopped. His ears twitched. He sniffed the ground. Then, he barked loudly and ran off into the fog. "Brutus!" Cole shouted. "Come back! What are you doing?" The dog didn't stop. Cole cursed, grabbed his rifle, and chased after him. The fog was thick, glowing faintly red from the toxic sunlight above. The deeper he ran, the more the scanner flickered. Then, he heard a second bark. Short. Urgent. He followed the sound until he saw Brutus standing near a crater, barking and pawing at something in the dust. Cole approached with his weapon ready. "What is it, boy?" Then he saw it. A wounded alien soldier lay half-buried in the sand, bleeding from the side. Its skin was pale blue, covered in cuts and dried blood. The armor was cracked, one arm missing a glove. Cole raised his rifle instantly. It was the enemy. Zeruvian, the same species that had attacked human colonies across the Orion sector. But this one looked barely alive. "Step away, Brutus," Cole ordered. The dog growled, but didn't move. Instead, Brutus stood between Cole and the alien, his tail still, body alert. Cole's finger hovered near the trigger. He had killed Zeruvian soldiers before. But something felt wrong this time. This one had no weapon, no backup, and Brutus, his trained war dog, wasn't acting aggressive. He was protecting it. "Why are you guarding it, boy?" The alien coughed weakly. Its voice was dry, shaky. "Not your enemy." Cole's eyes widened. "It spoke English?" He stepped closer, still aiming. "Why are you here?" The alien opened one eye. "Was left behind. Hit by own bomb." Cole scanned the area, no other signs of movement. "Where's your squad?" "Dead." Cole looked down at the dying figure. He should have walked away, or pulled the trigger. That's what command would expect. But Brutus stood firm, tail low, still protecting the alien like it was one of their own. Cole sighed and lowered the weapon. "Damn it. You better not make me regret this." He pulled out a portable med pack and crouched beside the alien. Brutus wagged his tail once. "Guess you trust him," Cole muttered. "So I will too." He injected the alien with a stabilizer and wrapped its wound. The alien winced but said nothing. "What's your name?" The alien hesitated, then said, "Varn." Cole nodded. "All right, Varn. You live. We'll figure out what the hell is going on." He looked at Brutus. "You picked him. Now we protect him." Just then, the scanner beeped. A small signal. Moving, fast toward their location. Cole narrowed his eyes. "We've got company." He pulled the alien onto a hover sled and activated the cloaking net. Brutus barked once, low and warning. Someone was coming. But now the question was no longer what to do with the alien. It was, why did the dog trust him before Cole did? Enemy. In the shelter. The shelter door hissed shut behind them. Inside the small underground bunker, the walls flickered with yellow emergency light. Air filters buzzed weakly, and the temperature slowly climbed from freezing to breathable. Sergeant Cole Brenner dropped his rifle near the supply crate and turned to look at the alien on the floor, Varn. The Zeruvian soldier was wrapped in a thermal blanket. Blood still stained his armor and his breathing was slow, shallow. Brutus, the military dog, sat nearby, not barking, not growling, just watching. loyal, still guarding the alien like he was family. Cole paced across the metal floor, frustrated. "What am I doing?" he muttered. "He's the enemy. He's not supposed to be alive. And I'm not supposed to care." He looked over at Brutus. The dog tilted his head slightly, then gave a soft whine. Cole sighed. "You're not making this easy, furball." Varn coughed. Cole walked over and knelt beside him. "You need water?" The alien blinked. "Yes, please." Cole handed over a fluid tube and watched him drink slowly. "You speak English pretty well. I was trained to understand humans," Varn replied quietly. "But not to meet one like you." Cole raised an eyebrow. "Like me?" Varn nodded. "One who helps." Brutus stood and walked to Varn's side. He laid his head gently on the alien's arm. Varn smiled weakly. "Your creature is not just animal, he feels truth." Cole sat back, arms crossed. "He's not creature, he's Brutus. And yeah, he saved me more times than I can count." He paused. "I just never expected him to protect the other side." A warning beep sounded from the console. Cole walked over quickly. A message blinked on the screen. "Command unit arriving. In 12 minutes. His face went pale. "No, not now." He turned to Varn. "You're not supposed to be here. If they find you, you'll be executed on sight." Varn's face showed no fear. "I know." Cole ran his hand through his hair. "But I can't just hand you over." "Not after what Brutus did," Varn whispered. "Then let me go. I walk into the storm." Brutus growled. Loud. Firm. Cole looked between them. Man, dog, and alien. No one's walking out to die. Quickly, Cole opened the floor panel and pointed to the crawl space below. "Hide here. Stay silent." Varn crawled inside without complaint. Brutus lay on top of the hatch once it closed, tail flat, eyes locked on the entrance. 12 minutes later, the door opened with a sharp hiss. 2 soldiers in black armor entered, followed by Lieutenant Harper, tall and cold-eyed. Harper nodded once. "Sergeant Cole, we picked up activity on your scanner logs. Energy spike. Movement." Cole stood straight. "Just a storm flare. Had to activate heat shields. Everything's under control." Harper's eyes narrowed. "You're alone?" "Just me and Brutus," Cole said. Harper walked slowly around the room, glancing at walls, crates, and gear. Then his eyes stopped on Brutus. The dog stared back calmly, still lying on the hatch. Harper walked closer. Dog's acting strange. Cole stepped forward. "Maybe he doesn't like being sniffed around?" Harper smirked. "Maybe." He turned and walked to the console. "We'll scan for hidden signals just in case." Under the floor, Varn held his breath. He closed his eyes and whispered something soft in Zeruvian language, words of guilt and thanks. After a few tense minutes, Harper gave up. "No signs of enemy life, but stay sharp, Sergeant. If you see anything out there, you report it. No secrets." Cole saluted. "Understood." The soldiers left. The door sealed shut. Brutus stood and wagged his tail once. Cole exhaled and opened the hatch. Varn climbed out, eyes wide with gratitude. "You risk much for me." Cole didn't reply. Instead, he knelt beside Brutus and scratched his ears. "You're the reason we just lied to command, boy." Then he looked at the alien. "I don't trust you yet, Varn. But my dog does. That means something." Varn gave a small nod. "I understand." Outside, the storm had started again, but inside the shelter, a fragile trust had just begun. And that trust would soon face its first real test. The strike that never came. The storm raged outside. Inside the small shelter, Sergeant Cole checked the perimeter scanner for the 10th time. Still nothing. No Zeruvian signals. No war drones. No ambush. And that's what scared him most. Varn, the alien soldier, sat quietly near the back wall. His wound had closed slightly after Cole applied a second med pack. His breathing was slow but steady now. Brutus, the dog, stayed between them, silent but alert. His ears twitched at every noise, and his tail didn't move once. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Cole stared at the holomap glowing on the table. "We were trained to believe your kind would never stop attacking," he said. Varn didn't look up. "And I was trained to believe you humans had no mercy," the alien replied softly. Cole leaned forward. "Then why does it feel like we're both fighting the wrong enemy?" Varn slowly raised his glowing blue eyes. "Because maybe we are." Before Cole could respond, the perimeter alarm blared. Intruder approaching. Fast. Heavy armor. No signal ID. Cole jumped up and grabbed his weapon. Brutus growled deep and moved to the door. Cole pressed a button, and the external cam activated. A single Earth Coalition mech stomped through the storm. Painted black. Heavy legs. Human pilot. Inside. But something was off. It wasn't broadcasting friendly codes. Cole's eyes narrowed. Why isn't it responding to the base ping? The mech turned slowly and aimed its cannon at the shelter. Cole dove forward and slammed the emergency shield button. A second later, the blast hit the roof. Boom, shaking the walls. Sparks flew, lights flickered. Brutus barked wildly and stood. In front of Varn. Cole aimed his plasma rifle at the door and shouted, "That's our mech. Why is it firing?" Varn spoke quickly. "It's not yours anymore. That's a hijacked shell. My kind calls it a ghost mech. Controlled by another signal." Cole turned to him. "Whose signal?" Varn hesitated. "Not my people. Something worse. Hidden hand. We saw it on both sides of this war." The mech fired again. The shield sparked. The power meter dropped by 40%. One more shot, and they'd be exposed. Cole cursed under his breath. "They're not trying to kill me. They're trying to kill you." Varn looked up, weak but calm. "Yes. They want to erase me before I speak." Brutus barked and ran to the back wall, pawing at a crate. Cole followed. Underneath was an emergency tunnel door. Old, rusted, but still functional. "How did you know this was here?" Cole asked. Brutus just barked once. Cole stared. "You smart little fur missile." He opened the hatch. Wind and snow blew up from below. Varn stood slowly, holding his side. "You help me escape," he said. "You'll be marked a traitor." Cole looked at him. "You said you had answers, secrets." Varn nodded. "I was a soldier in the first wave. I saw the orders. The first blood spilled. Wasn't an accident." Cole tightened his grip on the rifle. "Then let's get out of here. You're going to tell me everything." They dropped into the tunnel. The shelter shook again, another cannon blast above. They ran through darkness, snow blowing around them from old vents. The tunnel led to an ancient observation post, abandoned before the war. Cole sealed the door. Behind them. Safe. For now. Varn sat down, exhausted. Cole faced him. "Start talking." Varn reached into his suit and pulled out a thin, glowing disc. He placed it on the ground. A projection lit up. A human general. A Zeruvian warlord. A secret. Handshake, then orders a fake attack. An agreed sacrifice. Cole's face went pale. This war started from a lie. Varn nodded. "Not us. Them. The ones who profit from chaos. Now they want all proof gone." Cole whispered. "They'll kill us both just to keep this buried." Varn looked up. "Unless we expose it first." Brutus barked once and sat tall, as if saying, "Then what are we waiting for?" The dog that wouldn't let go. The old outpost was cold and cracked. The wind howled through broken vents and snow crept through the shattered walls like silent ghosts. Sergeant Cole Brenner sat on a rusted bench, staring at the glowing hologram, still spinning above the floor. The truth was there. Proof of betrayal. Orders signed by both human and Zeruvian leaders. Agreements made in the shadows. A fake war started for control of fuel-rich planets. Cole clenched his fists. He had lost friends in this war. Good soldiers. Good people. And it was all for nothing. Across the room, Varn sat on the floor, his back against the wall, his breathing uneven. He was healing, slowly, but his eyes were different now. Not scared, not weak, just tired. Like Cole. In the middle of the room stood Brutus, watching both men. He didn't move, didn't blink, just watched. After a long silence, Cole finally spoke. "You were part of this." Varn looked up. "I followed orders. Like you." Cole stood up, pacing. "You knew the truth and still fought us." "I didn't know then," Varn said. "Not all of it. I found the files later, when I was assigned cleanup. When I saw the bodies of your civilians, people we weren't supposed to touch." He lowered his head. "I tried to speak, they silenced me." Cole's jaw tightened. "And now you expect me to believe you're one of the good ones?" Varn didn't reply. Brutus gave a soft growl. Not angry, not aggressive, just sad. Cole looked at him. "You trust him, don't you?" Brutus wagged his tail. "Once." Cole sighed and sat down. "I don't know what to believe anymore." Suddenly the base's motion sensor pinged. Cole jumped up, weapon raised, movement outside. Varn tried to stand, winced, then forced himself up. Brutus barked twice, sharp and alert. Cole opened the drone cam feed. 3 heat signatures, not human, not Zeruvian, something else. The outpost lights flickered, the hologram blinked and shut down. A low buzzing sound filled the air, like static. But alive. Varn stepped closer to Cole. "They're coming. The ones who don't belong to either side." Cole turned to him. "Who are they?" Varn whispered. "The ones who sell war. The ones who feed both armies with lies." Outside, a dark shape moved near the window, tall, thin, and glowing faint red under the snowlight. Cole raised his weapon, heart pounding. "We're not ready for this," Varn nodded. "Then we run." Brutus barked and ran to the exit, tail high. But when Cole reached the door, he stopped. "Wait." He turned to Varn. "I don't know if I trust you, but my dog does. That's all you've got right now." Varn held his gaze. "I'll take it." They escaped out the side hatch. As they ran into the snowstorm, the outpost behind them lit up with energy pulses and strange lights. It was being erased, not destroyed. Wiped clean. Hours later, they hid in a frozen cave lit by faint crystal lights. In the walls, Varn leaned back, exhausted. Cole sat near the entrance, watching the wind. Brutus lay between them, head on paws, eyes still open. No growl. No bark. But always watching. Always loyal. Cole spoke without turning. "You think we can stop this?" Varn whispered. "If we live long enough." "Yes." Cole looked down at Brutus and smiled slightly. "Then we keep moving." He reached out and scratched behind Brutus's ears. The dog wagged his tail, just once. In a galaxy full of lies, betrayal, and war, only one creature still saw the truth clearly. A dog who wouldn't let go. Secrets under the ice. The snow was deeper now. Every step Sergeant Cole Brenner took sank up to his knees. The cold burned his face, but he kept moving. His breath turned to smoke in the air. Beside him, Brutus trotted ahead, ears alert, nose close, to the ground. Behind them, Varn, the alien soldier, limped through the storm, leaning on a piece of metal like a cane. They had been walking for hours with no signal, no light, and no sound except for the wind. Then Brutus stopped. He growled once and began digging at the snow with both front paws. Cole ran to him. "What is it, boy?" Varn caught up and placed a hand on a glowing rock near the dig site. His eyes widened. "It's here," he said softly. "The place I saw in the data vault. The one with the truth." They dug together, human, alien, and dog, until a flat metal surface appeared beneath the snow. Ancient symbols glowed faintly under the ice. Varn touched the center panel. It lit up bright blue. The ground beneath them shuddered, and a hatch slowly opened with a hiss. Warm air escaped into the storm. Inside, they stepped into a hidden chamber, untouched for centuries. The walls were smooth silver, covered in glowing text and blinking lights. In the center stood a giant crystal orb floating silently in the air, surrounded by 4 arch-shaped consoles. Varn gasped. This is pre-war tech, built by the Watchers, the species that vanished long ago. Cole raised an eyebrow. And what does it do? Varn stepped forward, placing his hand on one of the consoles. A hologram appeared in the air, recorded images of human and Zeruvian leaders trading messages, passing hidden credits, and launching a fake skirmish to begin the war. Cole's mouth dropped open. Every conspiracy theory was true. Varn nodded. This was the core relay. It stored everything, the Watchers observed, and chose to hide. Brutus circled the orb, sniffing it. He barked once, soft, questioning. Then something strange happened. The orb glowed brighter when Brutus got closer. Cole noticed. What the hell? Varn watched closely. He's activating it. The orb reacts to sentient minds, but not all. Only ones with loyalty. Truth. Brutus sat beside the orb. It glowed white. Then it spoke. A voice calm and neutral. Soul verified. Companion class. Pure loyalty. Access granted. Cole and Varn looked at each other in shock. A beam shot from the orb to the console, and hundreds of secret files filled the air, rotating, glowing, waiting to be read. Varn whispered, "Your dog just opened the gate to the truth." Cole laughed, half disbelief, half pride. "Guess you're more than a war dog, huh, Brute?" Brutus wagged, his tail, tongue out. But the moment didn't last. Suddenly the floor lights flickered. The voice returned. "Warning. Unauthorized signal approaching. External disturbance detected." Cole checked his wrist scanner. Damn, they're tracking the energy spike. Varn moved fast, copying as many files as he could to a crystal drive. "We have 2 minutes at most." Cole helped him while Brutus ran to the hatch and growled loudly. Shadows were moving outside. Too many. Varn looked at Cole. "We can't let them take this. If they do, it's over." Cole nodded, then looked down at Brutus. "What do you think, boy?" Brutus barked once, turned, and grabbed the crystal drive in his mouth. Varn raised his brow. "He'll carry it?" "He'll protect it with his life," Cole replied. "And us?" Cole smiled. "That depends how fast you can run." They rushed out of the chamber just as a blast rocked the hilltop behind them. Enemy drones dropped from the sky, firing into the snow. But Brutus was already running full speed, zigzagging, tail low, eyes sharp, leading the way back to the safe zone. Cole and Varn followed, dodging fire, sliding down icy slopes, hearts pounding. As the wind screamed and lasers flew overhead, one thing was clear. They didn't just carry evidence now. They carried hope, and it was all thanks to a dog who refused to let go. The call to truth. The air was thinner now. The high mountains of Talrix 4 made breathing hard, but Sergeant Cole Brenner didn't stop. Neither did Varn, though his limp was worse, and Brutus, loyal, fast, focused, ran ahead, the glowing data drive still held gently in his mouth. Behind them, smoke rose from the collapsed ruins of the hidden base. The attackers had no idea where the data had gone, but time was short. Soon they'd realize what was missing, and they'd come hunting. At the edge of a cliff, the trio reached a small relay tower, old, rusted, barely functional. Cole kicked the door open. "This is the only place left strong enough to send the data out," he said. "If it works." Varn stepped inside and looked around. "Even if the signal is weak, someone will hear it." Cole nodded. "Then let's shout loud." They got to work. Varn connected the crystal drive to the tower core. Cole recharged the uplink battery using emergency cells. Brutus sat by the door, watching the snowy road below. His ears twitched. His tail didn't wag. Something was coming. The screen blinked to life. Signal strength. 12%. 15%. 22%. Varn adjusted wires. Sparks flew. Cole shouted, "Almost there." Suddenly, Brutus barked, fast and sharp. Cole ran to the window. 3 shadow drones hovered just below the ridge. "They found us." Varn whispered, "We only need 2 more minutes." Cole raised his rifle. "Buy me one. I'll buy the other." Brutus didn't wait for an order. He dashed out the door like a blur. Down the snowy path the dog ran in zigzags, drawing fire from the drones. Cole followed him with covering shots, knocking one drone from the sky, but two kept firing. Brutus. "Pull back," Cole yelled. But Brutus didn't turn. He was faster than any drone. He ran straight at them, then leaped off a cliff, dragging both drones behind him. Boom! A small explosion lit up the sky below. Cole's heart dropped. He stood frozen, staring into the smoke. "Brute!" Back inside, the signal reached 92%. Varn shouted, "Now or never!" Cole slammed the transmit button. A wave of light pulsed from the tower, blasting the truth across nearby systems. Data, video, audio, all of it. Leaders' faces, lies, deals, proof of war's origin. Sent irreversible, they collapsed inside, breathless. "It's done," Varn said. Cole looked back toward the cliff. "But we lost him." A few minutes passed in silence. Then, a soft scratching sound at the door. Cole stood up fast and opened it. Brutus limped in, soaked in ash, left paw burned, but alive. Cole dropped to his knees, hugging him tight. "You crazy little hero." Brutus wagged his tail once and laid, his head in Cole's lap. The next day, everything changed. The message spread across the stars. People on both sides, human and Zeruvian, saw the truth. Some denied it, others rebelled, but most listened. Peace talks started within a week, HFY. At the mountain tower, Cole, Varn, and Brutus stood together, looking at the clear sky above. "We did it," Cole said. Varn nodded. "Because of him." He knelt and touched Brutus's head. "Your dog may have saved 2 species." Cole smiled, wiping a tear. "Yeah. But don't let him hear that. He already thinks he owns the galaxy." Brutus barked softly, like he understood, and a war started by lies. It wasn't a hero in armor or a weapon of power that ended it. It was a dog. Loyal, fearless, and true. Loyalty. That changed the galaxy. The snow had melted. For the first time in years, the twin suns of Talrix 4 shined without smoke in the sky. The war was over. Across human and Zeruvian worlds, leaders had stepped down. Soldiers laid down their weapons. Old. Enemies looked at each other not with hate, but confusion. They had fought and killed for a lie. But someone had exposed it. And it all began with a single file. A broadcast. A truth sent from a mountain tower, and a dog named Brutus. At the edge of a quiet valley, a new outpost stood. Not a base of war, but of peace. Flags of both species waved together. No guards, no fences, just people rebuilding. Inside a small tent, near the edge, Sergeant Cole Brenner poured water into a bowl and set it down gently. Brutus walked in, a soft limp still in his front leg, but stronger now. He drank slowly, tail swaying. Cole smiled and knelt beside him. "You saved us all, you." "No," he said quietly. Brutus looked up with soft brown eyes and licked Cole's face once. Behind them, Varn entered, wearing a new coat stitched by both human and alien hands. He carried a medal, a small silver badge shaped like a flame surrounded by a paw print. He handed it to Cole. "For him," Varn said. Cole took it and placed it on Brutus's collar. No speech, no ranks, just truth. Later that day, hundreds gathered in the open valley. Humans and Zeruvians, old fighters, young students, families. They came to listen, to remember. Varn stepped to the front and raised his voice. "When the galaxy was burning and leaders fed us lies, we were shown the truth by a creature with no words." He looked at Brutus, a soul that felt no hate, no fear, only loyalty. And that loyalty lit the path to peace. The crowd fell silent. Then slowly, clapping began. Not for a soldier, not for a politician, but for a dog. After the ceremony, as the stars blinked overhead, Cole sat beside Brutus on a small hill. He looked down at the quiet valley. "Funny," he whispered. All those generals with their armies and weapons, and it was you who stopped the war. Brutus rested his head on Cole's boot and closed his eyes. Peaceful, tired, proud. A soft wind blew across the hill. Cole smiled to himself. Let the galaxy remember this. It wasn't power that saved us. It was heart. Years passed. The valley became known as Brutus Ridge. Statues were never built, but stories were told in every academy, every village, every outpost. Children played beside dogs and named them Brute. And in every tale, they said the same thing. One dog saw the truth when no one else could, and because of him, the stars finally knew peace.